Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Michael, this is tough.
This
How do we even start this conversation?
I was just going to say, this is not the first time.
The way we started is by thanking everybody that responded. We'd like to thank the Shreveport Fire Department for their professional paramedic service. Those guys are true professionals. They responded to the scene. They went to work. They did everything they possibly could. They fought with us to the bitter end. They got us to LSU with police escort, of course. We were standing by at LSU where Dr. Magali, who is a wonderful medical doctor, and all of the emergency room staff at LSU Oshner's Health went to work. It was amazing. It's amazing to see them apply their trade. They're educated professionals, and we're truly proud to have them in our community. Of course, we want to thank all the administrators that responded. All of the fire administration was there. Chief Warburton, all of his administrative support. Of course, Ben Raymond was there, the chief of police. But what was phenomenal was the new mayor, Mayor Perkins, 3 of our city councilmen, Councilman Boucher, Bowman, Nicholson. They all came. Everyone showed true sympathy and compassion last night. That's where we start, and that's where we're the most appreciative of. We go through a lot. We go through a lot out here on these streets. We get faced with a lot of danger, and sometimes, officers will legitimately feel that people aren't paying attention. But when tragedy strikes, this proves different.
What happened in this case? What can you tell us? I know it's an ongoing investigation. You got to be careful.
I can't tell you anything during an ongoing investigation. I was a detective for 14 years.
Sure. And
I wouldn't do anything that would compromise the case. I've been there too many times where these detectives are now. I can tell you that Detective Hindenburger is an academy classmate of mine. I worked with him when he first came to the detective office. He's a true professional. All the detectives there, Detective McIntyre, Detective, McDonald, all these guys, they're going to work. The homicide is going to get in there. They're going to work. They're going to work day and night until they get this done. There's no doubt in my mind that everybody's going to shine at this point. They're going to do their best. No matter how good we do, there's going to be a shadow. We've lost one of our own, and we've been here before. Unfortunately, I'm doing an interview that you and I and Robert have all done before. Mm-hmm. This is extremely painful. We don't like doing this interview. Out of all the things that we can agree on, fuss on, or do anything else, this is the part right here that constantly rips our heart out.
Yeah.
Our sympathy and all of our love is going out to her family. We thank them for allowing her to be a part of Shreveport Police. She was young. She was bright. She was very competent, a very smart police officer. She was a beautiful young lady. Everybody loved working with her. Everybody loved working around her. She worked on my shift for a rotation twice now. She's the kind of person when she walks in the room, she lights it up. And she is going to be so missed every day. Shreveport truly lost one of its best and brightest. When you talk about the future of the department, and we do that a lot on different things. We do it when we talk about pay and we do about other things. But listen to me. The police department is about the men and women who are willing to serve. Mm-hmm. And this was one of Shreveport's absolute finest. She was a young person who was willing to come to work for the Shreveport Police Department, and she was willing to make sacrifices, work shift work when she had a small child at home, and she was willing to put forth her own best interest every single day. She came to work on time. She stayed late every day that she needed to. This is the kind of person that Shreveport needs at the Shreveport Police Department. So,
Michael, can you explain when they detain someone, the difference between detaining and making an arrest? Can you help? Because we're told they still have someone they've detained.
Well, what happens in an ongoing investigation is that you detain those of interest. And as long as there's an interest in that person and there's a view towards them of possible arrest, then there's laws that we follow. There's laws in place that allow us, give us certain rights in order to detain, to apprehend, and then eventually probable cause will make the arrest. These men and women are professionals in that detective office. Crime scene is the same. They all responded. Last night it was a 110% effort on behalf of the Shreveport Police Department. They're there. They were there all night. I was there late. I responded to another shooting after I left the hospital from this. So, when other people go to work and they hear of tragedy, they might be able to shut down the office, might be able to sit down and console each other, might be able to go out for lunch or maybe even a drink after work. That doesn't happen in police work. We literally get up and go to the next call. And that's where the grind starts. I'd encourage all of my members that are listening to this today to seek the emotional support that you need. Your union is here for you. Your community is here for you. We have working professionals that we are in business with across the community that can help each and every person. We're going to help everybody in their academy class. You become very close to people in your academy class. You go through 16 to 19 weeks of rigorous training, and at some point you form a bond. It's meant to be that way. It's like basic military training in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. And you never forget these people. I know all the 23 that I graduated with. I know them by first name. I know their families. I know everything about them. These young folks are the same way. They're grieving right now. They're grieving even more so than the rest of us veterans because they knew her personally. We're trying to give all due respect to the family, to the mothers. I know that the mothers put a request out asking not to share pictures and all. We're going to respect that. I've not showed any kind of pictures in any of my posts, thanking folks, not even mentioning names. But at some point, everybody's got to understand that when you hurt one of us, you hurt all of it. And there's no other way to say it. Mm-hmm. We're grieving as a department once again. I wish I could say that this is never going to happen again, but the truth is it is. It is going to happen again. I've said this too many times. Other law enforcement leaders will agree, and they'll say the same thing. What we have to do is we have to work very hard every day to try to prevent it, but we have to accept the reality of what it is.
Mr. Michael, we had heard from a couple of folks that the person currently being detained is a witness and not a suspect, and that would mean that somebody is still at large. Can you comment on that? Do you know anything about that?
I can't comment on it.
What about this was can you dispel the myth that this was I mean, this was not a random, somebody saw a police officer and shot him.
I can't dispel any myths at this point. Like I said, it's an ongoing investigation. And look, I've spent too many years in investigations, and I know how critical it is to disseminate information, whether it be true or false. At one point, what I have to say is that detectives, and this is extremely hard when you're dealing with personal issues like this or crimes against children, which I did for many years. The detectives have to try to remove all emotions from this to try to stay focused and stay forward. And I would encourage everybody to give them that room and that latitude to do their job. They're going to do good. They're going to do well, and they're going to come out on top. And at some point, when it's all over with, their grieving process starts as well. This is very traumatic for investigators in the process.